Hey everyone! I've got a seriously time-saving walkthrough today on how to transform a single long video into a full week, or maybe even more, of perfectly polished, ready-to-post short clips using this incredible tool called Vizard. If you are currently drowning in hours of long-form content, think interviews, deep dive tutorials, lengthy live streams, or podcast recordings, and you desperately need more bite-sized content without spending days just chopping and guessing, then you absolutely need to pay attention. For those of you new here, I'm Alex, and this channel is dedicated to making content creation less painful and way more productive through smarter editing workflows and clever automation hacks. If boosting your productivity sounds like something you need right now, please consider hitting that subscribe button because I am back with tools that genuinely transform the process. I know I've been quiet for a bit, but I've been deep testing something new that I genuinely love and can't wait to share how much time it saves. Remember that frustrating video I made a while back about manually hacking down long content inside traditional software? That process was a nightmare. Everyone has their method. Some swear by transcript-based editors like Descript, others rely on quick mobile apps like CapCut, and then there are the classic workflows involving hours of scrubbing and marking in and out points. The fundamental issue with almost all those established approaches is that they either demand too much time, they cost a lot of money, or they simply focus on the wrong metrics to generate good shorts. They often just trim by audio peaks or loudness, completely missing those crucial context-rich moments that actually have viral potential and make people stop scrolling. So, how do we bridge the gap from a single 90-minute conversation to 15 highly effective 30 to 60-second clips that genuinely perform well across social platforms? This is precisely where this tool enters the chat. And honestly, the simplicity of the mechanism is what blew me away the most. If your primary goal is repurposing massive amounts of long-form content into a consistent stream of high-quality shorts without you having to babysit every single cut, this is the workflow you need to adopt immediately. The very first step is crucial. Ensure your long video is completely finalized and locked down, whatever that master file looks like for you. Make sure the audio is reasonably mixed, the visuals you intend to keep are locked, and there are no stray half-done graphics. Cleanliness here is key for the AI assistant to work its magic. Think of the platform as an incredibly smart assistant, but even the smartest assistant needs a polished, high-quality base material to perform at its absolute peak capabilities. Next up, you take that beautiful master file and upload it directly into the tool. It generally supports simple drag and drop or direct pointing to cloud storage, offering great flexibility. Once the file is accepted, the real magic begins as the system immediately analyzes everything. It's scanning for highlights, detecting key speaker changes, dramatic shifts, and emotional peaks automatically. I genuinely love the speed of this process. In Premiere, this would be a multi-step manual marathon. Scrub, mark, export. Then export again, rinse, and repeat that loop endlessly. With many other auto tools, you either end up with very generic, boring cuts that entirely miss the actual hook, or you pay a premium and still have to manually tune every single suggested edit. What sets this platform apart is that its auto-editing specifically highlights segments likely to perform well. We're talking punchy lines, genuine funny beats, and moments showing high audience engagement. Now, it's not psychic, and it's not perfect, but I promise you, it is significantly ahead of the basic auto-trim algorithms that most tools rely on for initial batch creation. Once Vizard has finished its initial creation, you are presented with a selection of suggested edits, often 10 to 20 strong bite-sized pieces depending on the source length. From this central hub, you can rapidly review everything, make minor tweaks, or instantly combine a couple of ideas into one stronger clip. The user interface here is exceptionally slick, allowing you to adjust in and out points precisely, swap the thumbnail frame, and even select vertical or square aspect ratios for different platforms all in one place. That sheer level of essential publishing control, without ever having to leave the application window, is frankly priceless for efficiency. One huge differentiating factor for me, compared to other solutions, is how seamlessly this tool handles the often dreaded scheduling phase. Sure, you can churn out clips in a batch using some competitors, or generate transcripts for manual cutting, but then you're immediately stuck exporting, uploading to a separate scheduler, and setting times manually. It's a mess. Vizard's auto-schedule feature completely eradicates that painful administrative burden. You simply define your desired posting frequency, like 3 clips per week, select your target platforms, and it builds the entire cadence automatically. You can review the generated calendar if you feel the need, but if you are truly busy, you can simply give it the green light and let the entire system run itself quietly in the background. That capability alone is massive for creators who demand high output consistency, but absolutely cannot handle the daily mental load of micromanaging every single post time. And speaking specifically about that calendar, their integrated content calendar is genuinely a powerful management hub, not just some bare-bones queue listing generic file names. You get a clear overview of what's slated for TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, whatever channels you care about, all visible in one unified dashboard. You retain the power to drag and drop to reschedule items, quickly modify captions, swap out thumbnails on the fly, or even pause an individual post right before it goes live. It truly feels like having a dedicated social media manager built right into your editing environment instead of wrestling with a separate, clunky external platform. For anyone managing multiple client channels or running a small media team, this single pane of glass approach drastically cuts down on email chains and endless context switching. Now, I must be honest and say this is not some form of content creation magic. The AI analysis is smart, but it is absolutely not psychic in its understanding. Sometimes, it will completely miss a subtle, nuanced moment that you, the creator, know will absolutely land with your deeply engaged core audience because it requires earlier context. Similarly, if your source material involves heavy multi-speaker crosstalk or extremely long, slow narrative buildups, the initial auto clips can sometimes feel slightly choppy or lose that necessary delicate pacing. This is exactly when you utilize those manual tweak tools, which, in contrast to other programs, are surprisingly intuitive and quick to operate when needed. Contrast this experience with Descript, which is brilliant for transcript-based edits, but its social clip generation often requires more cleanup, or Premiere, which gives you surgical control but has zero built-in scheduling capabilities. And CapCut, while excellent for on-the-fly mobile edits, simply isn't engineered for large-scale cross-account content calendar management like this solution is. Here's another practical pro tip for safety. Never overwrite your original pristine project file. Always keep a safe, separate backup of that master sequence somewhere, ideally in the cloud. I learned that lesson the hard way, more times than I care to publicly admit. Having that safety net means you can always return to the original source material for a complete recut later on. When you are finally satisfied with your curated set of clips, you have the option to export them individually, or, my preferred route, let Vizard publish them directly on schedule for you. If you let it publish, the system tracks performance and feeds you back analytics, which creates a sacred feedback loop that I treat as non-negotiable for improvement. The more you study what clips gain traction, was it the hook, a specific joke, or a surprising insight, the better the underlying AI gets at serving up similar, high-value moments in your future uploads. Over time, this process means the automated edits align much closer to your specific audience's preferences, creating a highly reliable, self-improving content pipeline. As a small nitpick, if you are chasing extremely technical audio polish, like specific LUFs mastering for broadcast standards, you might still want to drop the final wave into a dedicated DIW like Audition. However, for the vast majority of creators focused on social media performance, the in-app loudness normalization is perfectly sufficient to keep things consistent and prevent jarring volume shifts. One final major workflow benefit, especially for client work or brand management, is how simple it makes team collaboration. You can share projects and allow teammates to comment directly on specific generated clips. This allows you to iterate directly within the tool, completely avoiding the old, cumbersome cycle of exporting, uploading to a separate proofing tool, downloading feedback, and repeating. In summary, the streamlined path is this. Finalize your master, upload for AI analysis, review the smart suggestions, tweak any necessary parts, and then either export or let the auto-schedule handle the multi-platform publishing cadence. It completely eradicates the manual, repetitive, and boring parts of content repurposing, allowing you to finally focus your energy on the big ideas, the perfect hooks, and the core storytelling. If this sounds like the productivity leap you need, I'll be sure to drop a link down in the description so you can jump in and start poking around with your own footage. Just remember, no tool does your actual creative strategy for you. It won't invent your niche. But this absolutely accelerates the tedious mechanical labor involved in getting content out the door. If you've used tools like Descript, CapCut, or Premiere specifically for this kind of batch repurposing, please jump into the comments and tell me what you loved and what ultimately frustrated you. I've seen creators spend more time optimizing uploads than actually engaging with their community, and that is a total waste of precious time. Let's talk about workflows down below. Kindness is mandatory, but I welcome respectful, detailed keyboard debates about the best editing paths. If you want to nerd out further on specific pipeline setups or swap high-quality memes, you can also find me over on Instagram and Twitter with the same handle. That wraps up this deep dive for today. I have a ton of upcoming content planned focusing on advanced repurposing strategies, thumbnail tricks, and building that sustainable pipeline that won't completely burn you out. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit that like button if this saved you a few hours this week, and I will see you all very soon with more ways to work smarter. Happy clipping!